Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel. And the sun is really strong right now, which is not, it's nice, right? You all like the sun. It's just when the sun comes out, there's a lot of shade as well, right? Yeah, but we will work with that, right? It's part of this reading today. So, tidy house. Clarity and organization. Yeah, you are working on something. Yes. And it's, yeah. Okay. It's about, well, I'm not saying anything yet, just because look at that. Yeah, well, oh yeah, yes, so, yeah, okay. Yeah. You know, there's something like when we look at ourselves and we realize that we are actually what energy are we putting out? You know, it's it depends in, you know, in which situation you are, I think. But I think you're organizing things, right? Connecting the dots, and yeah, it really wants to show that. So what you want to do is you want to offer something with roots. I almost don't see what I'm doing here, but yeah, it's okay. You want to offer something with roots, but it's also, yeah, it's almost you want to offer yourself with roots, you know? You want to go to the roots of yourself, and by doing this, you have to clean up literally your kitchen. And, you know, otherwise you will not, you know, you will not be able to offer yourself with roots. And that's what you're doing. You know, that's how we feel when we don't offer anything with roots, when we have just, you know, there's something that needs to be worked on. And oh, the sun. Whew. It's okay. It's, you know, it's like this. It's literally like this. This reading feels really like this. The sun wants to come in, but to be able to really, it's almost too bright for me to see anything. So that's something what you are doing, I think. You know, because clarity and organization, you can become this, you know, or, you know, be this energy. One, it's, you know, for me, when I look at the whole deck, this is the first card, but it's also, in a way, if you count backwards, the last. And what you are doing is you are unraveling everything backwards and going to the root of this. And this is what is happening. It's well, you get to the sun, right? Which is very nice and very warm, but it also can be overwhelming. But when the sun is there, you know, there are shades as well. And, you know, there's nothing wrong at all in residing in the shade. It's just that it just gives a bit of a you know, it's a wrong impression if you think that you know, you give a false impression when you are portraying the, you know, it depends. I'm getting reminded of social media, what you put out there, people will judge you about. You know, when you put out your misery, people think you are a miserable person, even though you are not, right? So you just want to get to the root of this, to your own sun. And it all also depends on who's looking at you, you know, which who is you know, who is looking at you. There are people who are more in the shades than you are, and they look at you as the sun. But there are also people who are more in the sun, and they look at you like you're in the shades, you know. And you want to reach a point where you can actually be in the sun, you know, number one. It's from, you know, 55. That's you know, 5. It's the number of chain. Interesting. And it really goes backwards, right? From 55 to 28 and to 1. So what you are doing is you are going, you know, it's like going to the heart of the matter, to the bone of everything, right? The bone structure. It's a deep analysis, and therefore, you know, also acting on the analysis, right? So because you are going through this, you need to go to really the deepest parts. And you know, life gives you some opportunities to do that, when you just, you know, by observing and being really critical with yourself, but also in a loving way, you know. I hope you understood what I was saying, because I was a bit further away. Oh, the sun. Wow. Yeah, so and you're doing this for a very long time already, I think, and it's something that you do for, you know, I think you are doing it also by accepting that it just takes its time, right? Because it's yeah, well, you know, it's not like this doesn't happen overnight. You didn't get to the point where you are now overnight either. But even though there's a lot of night energy in this, you know, with this card, really looks like, you know, that's a nighttime scene, right? And it feels like a dark night of the soul, but for me, the dark, you know, those night hours, they are very special, especially the hours when everybody else is asleep, or most of the people. It feels like you are alone with the world, because everybody else is somewhere else, right? Most of the people, though, you know, not all of them, of course. There are some lights on, but it could. So this just means that you also could feel alone a bit. Muffin is an addiction card, so really could be that you are getting to the heart of every matter, and you're just going through it. It's not the easiest part, though. You know that if you want to reach the sun completely, you have to, you know, you really have to take all the steps it takes. You know, this is a path. And yeah, it's okay, you know, if you have some times where you are taking or having a break from all of this. It's okay, you know. It's a journey, and you are getting there naturally. It's nothing that requires you know, it's just, I'm feeling a time pressure with this, you know, whenever, or maybe a little bit of overwhelm, because when you look at this kitchen, right, you know, it's a bit of an overwhelm to go through, you know, look at, you know, when you've let it be cluttered like that, it's overwhelming to look at all the work that is ahead, but there's nothing that you are shying away from. But if you are still looking at the kitchen, it's just something that wants to it's something that wants to encourage you to do that, because it teaches you a lot, you know. And you will reach the clarity, you know. It's going backwards. It's when you take a bold step forward and go through this, you know, with all the steps, it teaches you something that you cannot be taught by just observing and everything else. And you will reach a point, actually, that is somehow, it really feels like you will reach a point where you will be the sun only, you know. There's a part of this, or a level of this healing that you are going through, that is where you don't get blinded by the sun anymore, because you become the sun, right? So I'm gonna pull some more cards. Spirit song, let's see. Persistence and new possibilities. This card wants to talk about, of course, that this is something that it's not a race, it's something that requires you to be persistent. And what you cannot see from this point, though, is that it will open you, it will give you more possibilities, new possibilities that you did not have before. All you really need to do is persistence. And it's actually, persistence is something like, it's not like, you know, doing it all at once and, you know, cleaning up you know, this whole thing as all at once. Persistence means you take a dish every day and you don't put new dishes, like new dirty dishes on it. That's required, right? You know that this is not easy when living, but I think that's where the hermit phase comes along, because by removing yourself from everything, every possibility that could put new dishes on your new dirty dishes on your table, it will give you the opportunity to just persist in this, because once you've reached the level when everything is clean, it's easier, you know. Then afterwards you can take one dish and clean it and then put it away, right? This is the clarity and organization in this. You know, it's not like having a whole pile of dishes and looking at a mess and seeing that there's so much work ahead, right? You're doing it one step at a time, because this is more efficient in the long run. You know, for now, instantly it's not efficient. It doesn't seem like that, because it seems like it just, the whole cleaning up process just takes longer, you know, but it's more efficient in the long run. Let's see what else we get. The star, peace and healing. Duh. Duh. Yeah, that's what you want. And so that's what you get. The thing about healing, though, is you don't know, you know, when you are healing yourself from really things that really go down deep, the roots, right? The root healing, right? And also, to the bone of things. The goal itself might feel a little bit vague because you don't know what the path entails for you, right? You don't know because you've never been there. It's like you can only imagine this. You can, and the thing about this though is also that you cannot, there's no it's almost also if you want to travel to a distant land but you don't have information about it. These days we've got information about everything online almost, right? Everything, every land you want to travel to, you can look up and you can see some specs and you can assume what is going to happen. But with this healing, you don't know the land and there's no information about the land whatsoever. No real information that you can really look at, no pictures, nothing. It's just there are only tales in this. Only some stories that you hear. Because it will be yourself, you cannot grasp what this will do to you once you've reached the point, right? So the only thing is that you need to surrender to what you know you need to do. And this is your main focus, but it will give you so much more back that I can't tell you, because that's something you need to discover yourself. It's a star. It's a path of stars, right? It's a star path. Yeah, it's like, so it's not a linear path, and you will get some gems here and there in between. Oh, and justice, truth and clarity. Beautiful. Beautiful, because it's about that. And if you see that, this is the moon. The moon is always, uncertainty, you don't know. Even though this owl, an owl, you might think an owl is knows it all, but the owl doesn't know it all. It has it's a bit deceptive, but it's beautiful because it's a cat with wings for me. So it just wants to look at the imagination and perception. So this just means you can only imagine what will happen. You can only imagine where you will end up, right? But this land will be the most beautiful land you've ever encountered. Whenever I see, this healing with the swan, I'm reminded of this ugly swan child. I don't know what's the word in English. And becoming a swan, right? What possibilities you have, right? You know that, but you don't know the extent of it. You can only imagine it, but it will bring the further you go down the path, the more clarity you get. And that's another thing, you don't know all of it just now, right? You just don't know, because it's a bit as I said, it's not a linear path. You go some places, you test things out, and then you return and you go somewhere else. It's just it's the way it was set up. Also, when you look at this, it's not really linear. There's no somewhat order in this, but you are organizing your energy, right? So you can be the sun always, even though of course there are always shades, but it's you want to reach the golden hour. You know, the golden hour in photography is when the light is there, but the shades are not as harsh. It's like what we see almost now a bit. It's from this very intense contrast point to where we are now, where we can see everything clearly, but without shades, but the light is everywhere, right? Yeah, that's where you're going. Good on you. And let's see what the Moonology cards have to say. Hold your vision, yeah. Came up in a lot of other readings. So it's just stay steady with this and surrender to the divine, yeah. And the new start is coming. Well. Yeah, so it's you surrender, and you know that's all you can do at this point, and therefore you're doing it, and you will get a new start in return, and it's a beautiful new start. Okay, so let's see who this reading is for. Sag, yeah, well, perfect. Yeah, additional info is in the letter box below, and see you next time. Bye bye.